a man understand standing right here. I'm from the left coast, nigga. Post all day, nigga, we pull triggers. Yeah, I'm trying to stack up the cheese from the floor to the ceiling. Get that money feeling. Every day, all the time. Walking these Cali streets, I on the grind. Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy OMD Dexter, and this is the Korner Store Podcast. We're live Sunday, January 19, 2025. This is episode 136. 136. How you guys doing? I'm glad you all here today. Yo, what's good? What's good? Hey, do me a favor and let me know if you can hear me. I have this microphone here. As you can see, the green light is on. But like I said, I've been working on this for a while now, getting this squared away. And I appreciate you guys being here. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about today. Let me first start out by saying TikTok has been banned. TikTok has been banned. Yeah, you heard me. TikTok has been banned. A lot of people are real disappointed about this. A lot of people are real disappointed about TikTok being gone. And I can understand why. The government is full of shit. The United States government is so crooked now. It's crookeder than a barrel of snakes. And it's never been more crooked than it is right now. It's come to fruition that a lot of the congressmen and senators and all these people who voted to ban TikTok have stock in Mark Zuckerberg's company, Meta. And Meta, if you didn't know, is a company that owns Facebook, Instagram, and some other, you heard me, and some other social media networks. Tell me if that's not a conflict of interest. It is most definitely is a conflict of interest. And that's the reason why they want it. There's a host of reasons why they want it. There's a host of reasons why they wanted TikTok to go away. Let's go with reason number one. Reason number one, content creators were actually making money without having to go do a 9 to 5. They can make their own hours. They can do this when they wanted to. And they also did not have to answer to a boss other than themselves or the alarm clock. That does not help the United States government. As far as they're concerned, we're nothing but worker bees, and we're supposed to be going out, getting pollen and bringing it back to the kitty for them to invest in their own bullshit. Not happening. At least it wasn't until they banned TikTok. Now, remember, that's only one social media network that you can actually do what you were doing on TikTok, but it was one of the more lucrative ones. There are TikTok creators who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Enough money to take care of their families, take care of themselves. To epic proportions. I see you, Eric. We got Eric in the chat. We got Negus Freeman in the chat. I appreciate you being here, you guys. Thank y'all for being here this Sunday morning. I know it's early, but we had to talk about this. One of the second reasons why they banned TikTok, they say it's because it's a Chinese company and it was an espionage. It was an espionage setup waiting to happen, which I believe is the biggest nonsense I've ever heard. The TikTok CEO is not even from China. He's from Singapore. There's only one company that's involved with TikTok. It is a Chinese-based company, but they don't even have nothing but maybe 15 shares of the company. Now, the company, the social media network that everybody ran to, which is TikTok in China, called Red Note. Now, that's a whole nother story. Now, that is espionage waiting to happen because that is a Chinese, fully owned company, fully owned social media network. Hell, it's all in Chinese, and you'd have to get an app to change your what you're saying into Chinese language in order for them to even understand what the hell you're saying. Make it make sense. The United States government is full of crap. They wanted you not to have a voice. They wanted you to be able to not have an opinion, to be able to say what you wanted to say on an application where there was filters on TikTok. I was a TikToker. I still am a TikToker. I don't know if they banned it completely. I know it's completely and utterly off. I remember when it went off last night when I went on there. It is a block on there now where it says you cannot be on TikTok. And they're even in the message, they're saying they hope that President Trump gives them a 90-day stay of execution. They're actually trying to chop the head off of TikTok. Like they're back in the older days. What didn't they do that to William Wallace in Braveheart? Didn't they? I think they made William Wallace beg for forgiveness before they actually freed him from his life or freed his body or his head from his body. If you remember the movie correctly, he wouldn't do it. And most of the people that were on TikTok are not going to bend the knee either. If I remember correctly, when they asked him to cry, when they asked William Wallace, Mel Gibson's character, to cry out and ask for forgiveness and leniency, what did he yell? Freedom! That's exactly what the TikTokers are trying to yell right now. That's exactly what all the social media creators out there is saying to the United States government. We will not stand by and watch you do these tyrannical things, tyranny type things. What they did by banning TikTok and using the guise of national security, saying that China would be invading homes, invading people's lives, invading secrets. What the hell? What are you saying? The Department of Defense is on TikTok and they're going to infiltrate the Department of Defense or the National Security Agency and find out secrets about America? I can guarantee you right now there are Chinese agents running all around through the United States that they don't know about, but they're worried about fucking TikTok. Make it make sense. It's a load of crap, as usual. The United States does exactly what it always does. It tries to be a mama and a papa to its people when it needs to just be a good friend to you. And that's just the damn truth. And also what the third thing is what the United States government was doing by banning TikTok is flexing their fucking muscles and letting all its citizens know you have no recourse. You have nowhere to run if we say you don't have anywhere to run other than back to our bosom. This is a sad state of affairs and a sad day when the United States government. Oh yeah, let me see. Hey, hold on a second. I need to be checking these comments and these chats because there's some really profound things being said. Eric said, O'Leary, a senator, headline, Kevin O'Leary. Oh, no, that's Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank, one of the investors that's on the show Shark Tank. He put up a $20 billion bid to cash offer to the table to buy TikTok outright. And he's exactly right. This is a most... Hey, what's up, DeAndre Adams? For those who didn't know, the person on the chat right now, DeAndre Adams, Mr. Adams is going to be running for city council. That's right. He's going to be running for city council. If you see him on the chat, he's going to be running for city council. Please, please, please vote for Mr. Adams, an amazing gentleman. He will be on the Korner Store Podcast very soon. There's a good chance. Now, this is going to get you guys going. Mr. Adams, City Council, District 8 in Los Angeles. Mr. Adams will be running for City Council, District 8 in Los Angeles, California. An extraordinarily bright and amazingly faithful and spiritual man who will do extraordinary things for the city of Los Angeles. I'm just saying that right now. I'm not going to even play around with it. That this guy is a real one. This is one of the people we need in office. This is one of the people who will actually get in that office and do some amazing things for us. And I'm saying that right now. Thank you, sir, for being here. I don't know if I'm letting this cat out of the bag by saying this because I spoke with him not too long ago. His campaign manager is none other than Mr. Rodney Allen Rippey. You heard me right. For those who don't know who Rodney Allen Rippey is, He's an amazing actor. He's renowned. He's on burger commercials. He's been in Mel Brooks comedy Blazing Saddles and a host of other TV shows. And he's an amazing person. And I think he'd be an extraordinarily great campaign manager for Mr. Adams. And I will be voting for Mr. Adams when the elections come up for that particular office. And hopefully he'll be able to come on my show and talk about his platform and what he'd like to do for his area in the city of Los Angeles. Let's give him a round of applause. Appreciate him. I really appreciate him. 2028, Jack in the Box. That's right. Mr. Adams just reminded me. Rodney Allen Ripley was one of the first black he was a little bitty kid, and he was trying to eat that burger, the Jumbo Jack, back in the day when I remember it from, I think, the 70s. I came to California. Oh God, I was so young then, but I remember that commercial. And what an extraordinarily blessing to know DeAndre Adams. I was in a movie with Mr. Adams, actually. He's an actor as well, and a gifted actor also. And I'll definitely be casting my vote in 2028 for you, sir. Please campaign on. Whatever you need me to do, I'm there for you, brother. I appreciate you. Like I was saying a minute ago about the government and TikTok shutdown, if you notice, whenever there's something that can actually help the people, especially in these last 15 to 20 years, because the political scene has been I've never seen it as crooked as it's been. It's always been crooked now, all the way back to when Nixon was in office, and obviously two well-renowned politicians, brothers, the Kennedys, were absolutely subsequently taken out. And it's coming to more and more fruition that the United States government had something to do with those brothers being killed. This is all alleged. Let me say that, because they always on our heads about spewing rhetoric and conspiracy theories and all of these different things on the internet. So I'll say this is alleged that Bobby and John were killed by the United States government, but it's all pointing to that absolute fact that they may have been. Yeah, you heard me. They may have been. So what makes you think now in 2025, when we absolutely should be going forward in our thinking as far as race, forward in our thinking as far as sexuality? And let me be one to say, I don't necessarily agree with all the things, the LGBTQ. I don't always agree, and I don't really know all of the letters. So, pardon me for those who might come on the live that are of that ilk. You have all the rights in the world to love, become, or any of those things, anybody you'd like to be. I commend you by living your truth. But I'll tell you, for those who are not living their truth and trying to use that as some type of weird, perverted platform, you'll be found out. Everything that's done in the dark comes to the light. But I'm of the mind that you can love whoever you love behind closed doors. You can be with whomever you like when it comes to, sex and things of that nature. And also showing emotions, or, showing PDA, public displays of affection, PDE, if I should say, with anyone. That's your business. But in hindsight, the government, who plays fiddle politically with all of these terms and plays fiddle with all of these situations in life, to use them to brainwash people into hating other people, to brainwash people into thinking that if you put me in office, I'll put a stop to this. You can't put a stop to something that is in people's hearts. You can't. Just like you can't stop criminals. You can send criminals to prison for forever. And all they're going to do is either do one or two things. They're going to change the way they think and come out a better person, or they're going to continue to be a criminal or even get worse. Now, I know that's three, but that second one is a combined thing. Most guys who go to jail either see the light or they see more darkness. We all know this. And that's just facts. I'm looking at the chat right now. Nigga said, allegedly, them statements form a different picture. I'm going to have to get with you on that, brother. I'm going to have to get with you on that. That is absolutely facts. That is absolutely facts. I totally agree with you. But I also agree with this. I think in this day and age, people are only going to do what they need to do for themselves and their family. And that's a perfect segue for me to go into this next topic, which is Snoop Dogg performing at the inauguration last night. They not only held this inauguration for the first time in its history, Trump held an inauguration indoors. He said it was because of the temperature. And they subsequently on the news and on CNN and MSNBC, I almost couldn't get that out. They went back into history and checked the temperatures of previous inaugurations because they're all in January, right when winter is at its peak. And some of them were as low as 14 degrees, and hundreds of thousands of people still managed to be in Washington Park or wherever that park is where they have the inauguration. Trump knew that tickets to the inauguration, which were free, they were giving these tickets away. People didn't even want them. Make that make sense. How did this man win this election? You mean people were so dead set against having a woman? And I have to admit, Ms. Harris, you didn't run the greatest campaign. All that money that you raised after Joe Biden decided, or you guys decided for Joe Biden, that he wasn't going to be, because of his failing mental capacities, that he wasn't going to be the candidate. You guys rushed her into that position, and you campaigned as hard as you could. It was a tightly contested race, which Trump subsequently came out on top. I believe, allegedly, that this particular presidential race was bought and paid for. When he lost the last time, he caused an insurrection, which subsequently had several people lose their lives, including police officers and citizens. Others ended up being jailed for indeterminate years because of their loyalty to this man. He incited that. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt. But with that said, he won this election overwhelmingly, this new one. Few million votes, a few 100,000 votes, or something to that nature. What does that tell you? And then the people all of a sudden now are having voters' remorse. It's all over the internet about people saying they're sorry that they voted for Trump. All over the internet how people didn't realize that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act was the same damn thing. How misinformed is the American public? How misinformed are they? How misinformed are old Caucasian people who don't really get out much, who live in rural areas, and the only means of communication, the only means of propaganda that they get, or news, I should say, is from one news network because it is lily white. And the few blacks that are on there speak so negatively about their own race that these people have no recourse but to think that black people are a certain type of person or people. So much so that they cannot see themselves having a black, let alone woman president. Do I think Kamala Harris would have changed or pushed the needle toward a better country, toward a better way of life? I'm going to have to say no. Do I think Trump will push the needle and give us a better life? I'm definitely going to have to say no, which means The whole damn thing needs to be blown up. It all needs to be blown up. Our political stature in the world, let alone in this country, is crumbling. It's crumbling. It's all about money. All of those people in there, from Kamala Harris to Joe Biden to everybody, even Maxine Waters, God love her. Maxine Waters is a wonderful woman. Started at Maxine Waters. I never went to Maxine Waters, but I've been on that campus. I've talked to people who've been in classes there. Some of those people who've come out of those classes done well. Some of those people wasted their time by going to Maxine Waters, and they were just spinning their wheels trying to figure out what they're going to do in life. Does that still change that she got that school open in Watts? No. Does that still change the fact that she gets money for that school for them people to be certified to do certain things? No, that doesn't change that at all. But what it does say is a lot of the things that are being done in the guise of helping the public, helping communities, is a small fraction of what could really be done. And then you got guys like Snoop Dogg, who I happen to really, really like and always have liked, but he's just like any damn body else. He's going to do whatever he needs to do to line his pockets. And that's the attitude that they've created in the United States. It's always been that way. It always will be that way. The haves and have-nots. There actually used to be a middle class in the United States. There actually used to be a way out. You actually could have gotten a job making a certain amount of money and got up to a certain amount and got a down payment for a home and got a bank to kiss the bank's ass to get a decent interest rate and actually own a piece of this world. But even when you do that, even if you go get a house, even you're only buying a structure, you don't own the land because you'll get taxed for property taxes and whatever. There's only a couple states in the United States of America where there's not tax or income tax or property tax. Texas and Florida, from what I can think of off the top of my head. Make it make sense. We all can't move to those states. We all can't move to Mississippi because Mississippi is the poorest state in the United States of America. Who wants to live there? If you get $10 million and move to Mississippi, that's different. You can go down there and become a kingpin. But even if you are able to have $10 million, if you're a black person, there's a good chance you might get pulled over. They may even try to kill you because you got that money, allegedly. Make it make sense. Snoop Dogg last year or some months ago before the election made a statement. Well, what piece of shit or what sucker is going to be or performing at the inauguration if Trump win? I'd like to see who that is. Well, guess what, nigga? It was you. What did they offer you for you to go back on your own words? Well, you calling yourself a damn fool. You said they was damn fools and you the one ended up performing. What does that make you? That's not like Kendrick Lamar that's going to be at the Super Bowl performing. That's totally different. People calling him a sellout, but yet still they was bad-mouthing Kendrick because it's going to be the Super Bowl's in New Orleans and Lil Wayne wanted to perform there because he's from New Orleans. You didn't see Master P bitching about it. Master P knew he wasn't going to get a chance to perform at the Super Bowl. He from New Orleans too. He from Magnolia Homes, if I'm not mistaken. If you're not from Magnolia, he from the other ward or wherever, because that's a damn shame too. And that's the badge of honor we wear. You can't help but have that badge of honor. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. I was born in the South, which ain't nothing, no big whoop. I was born in one of the racist states in the Union, Alabama. Came here to Los Angeles from the frying pan to the fire. Went right to South Central. Mom's trying to buy herself with 2 kids, a girl and a boy, trying to make it in the United States. She realized, my mother, thank you, Mom. Love you, Mom. She worked on jobs that most women wouldn't even try to work on back in the late 60s, early 70s, late 70s, early 80s, 90s. My mom worked as a bus driver and at pump companies and did all kind of shit to make a decent wage to be able to take care of me and my sister. Most women was working as teachers and nurses and typing in somebody's office making $7, $8 an hour. Well, my mom was making 17 and 18 when that kind of money was big money back in the day. Just to see, so we can have a halfway decent future. And even with all of that, all they used to sell us on was going to school. Going to school. It's impossible for us to make it, man. But people are still making it because we believe in something higher than this damn country. We believe in something higher than ourselves. We believe in something higher than someone who gets in office to bail you out. We believe in the Almighty. And see, like I've said before, this is not a spiritual podcast. We ain't over here trying to make you go to God. If you don't want to go to God, that's your damn problem. But most of us who really know who runs this whole thing, regardless of all the evil and all of the death and all of the psychoticness you see, the Most High is the one running this. So you run to him when you have problems. Just because you can't see him don't mean he ain't there. But the fact still remains that once you get a check for $1 million, $100,000, $10,000, and somebody tell you you can get more of these checks if you just do and say what I say you should do. Snoop, I'm disappointed in you, man. I'd love to have you on the podcast. You'll never come to this pod because I'm not big enough. I'm not Trump's inauguration setting. But I'd love to have you on the show to tell me what in the hell made you do that. You know this man don't like us. You know he don't like us. You know Trump is not for black people. He's not for no damn body but Trump. But yet still, you went against your own damn words. You went against your own words, putting it out there that how stupid people would be if they ever performed at his inauguration and there your ass stood back there. I looked at that video, wasn't nothing but white faces in there, and there's no problem with that. The problem is black people don't have a problem with white people, even though they brought us here in chains. We still don't have a problem with y'all. Y'all have the problem with us. This podcast is not about race. It's about facts. It's about truth. It's about keeping it real. I keep it real on here because the most important thing is telling the truth and not lying to yourself. Lying to yourself is not going to help any damn thing. This podcast, 136 episodes. If you look back on some of my previous episodes and you see this room at its beginning, at its inception, when I first started doing this place was bare. 2 fucking steel fold-up chairs. Bare walls, nothing on the walls but a banner stating what this podcast was. But now look at it. Little by little. And I'm by myself. I don't have a team. I'm not like Willie D Live. I'm not like any of these other pods. I could name all kind of podcasts that has financial backing, that has people to do the cinematography, that has people to do edits, that all of these different things. This is all me by my dolo, and maybe some advice from certain people. I've had people come by and take a look at things and this stuff. This is all me, and I'm gonna keep doing it because guess what? The truth needs to come out. Not just my emotional feelings or anything like that. This is really what's going on out there. The sad thing is that we have to have shows like this to keep it 100 with you. I should be talking about amazing things that are going on in the world versus what's going on, like TikTok being banned. Do you know how many people are not going to be able to do what they need to do to feed themselves? Now, there are people on TikTok need their ass off of there. You've seen them. There are people on TikTok that will go live and sit there and just have a picture of their cleavage. There's a girl on TikTok, all she would do is go live and put her booty in the camera. So you know who I'm talking about. But there's a lot of people on there that's giving out some great information. There's TikTokers who was on there giving financial advice on how to do LLCs, on how to put their video equipment together to do content creation, just like they're doing. There are a lot of people who are in there doing nostalgic music, meaning music from the past, like myself. I would do the same thing. I would do music from the past as well. There's also people who are on TikTok who were doing cooking, showing you recipes, showing you how to build cars, showing you how to fix cars, not just build and fix cars, showing you how to antique, how to find rare antiques, showing you how to shop. A lot of people on TikTok was doing good things, and then there was a lot of people who were just doing a bunch of bullshit on there. But I failed to see why it was necessary to shut down something that was being so lucrative for so many different people. I will say this though, if you're not on Fanbase, which I happen to be on, I'm on Fanbase and I'm gonna start going live on Fanbase. Fanbase is owned and created by Isaac Hayes III. He is the son of the legendary singer and actor Isaac Hayes. And I will say this for Mr. Hayes. He has a round of stock buys that he's going through right now. I don't know if they're going to close it, but their goal is $17 million. They're at about $7 million right now. They need $10 million more. I hope he sees my live because I am going to be buying some stock in Fanbase. He's an African-American man who is starting his own social media network or his own social media. And I believe that we as brown and black people, black and brown, I should say, should support him in that endeavor. If you want to find him, please go on YouTube and look up Fanbase or look up Isaac Hayes. You can go on YouTube and look up Isaac Hayes as well, Isaac Hayes III, and he will tell you how to, or go on Fanbase. That's the easiest thing to do. Go on to Fanbase. Go in the App Store, go in the Apple Store, and find Fanbase and download it and join today. It's very Instagram-like, to be honest with you. I'm sure they're going to be working on it as they get more revenue and get more people to get involved. I'm sure they're going to be. Hey, welcome to the live. I see we got five in the live. Thank y'all. I appreciate you being here. Good morning to you, Sunday morning. And Isaac Hayes III's app is amazing. I've moved all my TikTok content. You can, and if you're on TikTok and you want to go over, if you want to migrate your content from TikTok, he will show you how to do it. It's very easy. And you could be on Fanbase with all of your stuff. And I'm going to be starting to go live on Fanbase as well to do Korner Store Podcast content on there as well as any of my other stuff that I have, like new artists, music review, track vibe, where I listen to beats from SoundCloud. Not SoundCloud. I'm sorry. I don't listen to beats on SoundCloud. So I listen to beats on YouTube and from Spotify and different content like that. But Fanbase is amazing. And then you can also buy some shares in Fanbase. The lowest amount for 65 shares is $399, which I think is really, really affordable. And if you do the math, if you buy $400 worth of shares, 65, and they happen to go, if it doubled and went from $6.50 something cents a share, if that doubled to $14, you just made a 50% profit. You just doubled your money. Now you got 800 and some odd dollars. Just imagine if that stock goes up to $40-$50 and you bought it at $6.50, you're gonna be really rich. So do yourself a favor. I'm going to be doing myself a favor, and I will be buying some Fanbase stock, especially since apps like TikTok are being banned. They're talking about trying to ban Red Note now to block it from being used on the App Store in the United States as well, or any of these app stores, whether you're on you have a Apple phone or a Android phone. They're trying to block Red Note too. So they're trying to stop people from being able to go to these other apps because they say it's for national security, which is a bullshit lie. I don't know about Red Note, but I know TikTok was not a national security risk. So, with that said, why don't we go and help some of our people finally, instead of black people? Stop being mad and hating and being suspicious of each other. If you had a black mechanic that fucked your car up, he's just one dude. If you had a black home improvement guy that came in and fucked up your bathroom that you were supposed to be fixing, that's one dude. I don't care if you've been shitted on by 10 blacks. It's going to be one day, it's going to be one black person that you're going to be like, damn, that motherfucker did a good job. Realize that we're not all fucked up individuals. They have us hating each other. They have us thinking that we're not here to help each other. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm here to help you. I wanted to address something else too before I move on to my next thing. Recently, I didn't think I was going to say nothing about this, but I'm going to, because it's kind of funny about what I was just saying about black people not trusting each other and not investing in black endeavors like fan base. I'm not going to name the show, but I'm going to just say these people are from the 805 area code 805 in Los Angeles. That's Ventura and Oxnard out that way. And they have a show that's on several live networks all at once. I think the brother uses StreamYard. For those who don't know StreamYard, if you ever decide to content create, you can be on StreamYard as well and lock in all your social media apps at one time, and you can stream whatever show or whatever content you're trying to put out all at the same time, which I think is an amazing thing. Shout out to StreamYard. And these gentlemen, I happened to make a comment on the show because when I first started watching this guy, he didn't have little or anyone really watching. It's very similar to me, even though I've been doing this a while. I'm starting to get more and more people to be intrigued by KSP and KST and all of the things that we're doing. And I noticed his numbers were growing to the fact of when he was doing his shows. At first, he was doing them solo, but now he's got all these different people wanting to be involved. And he has a co-host now, or a couple of co-hosts, or he has other people that's involved. And that's great. And I actually had a song. For those who didn't know, I do music at 58. This is more of a passion play for me. I'm not looking to be signed by anybody. If God was to be like, man, you know what? Somebody wants to put that's him. That'll be the Lord's, play. That's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for the love of just enjoying music. And hip hop is something I've always loved all the way from when I was riding the bus to Audubon Junior High School, being bused when Rapper's Delight came on back in the 70s. We used to rap that damn song all the way to school. It used to be on 1580 or something K-Day and all them shows. Hell, black music was on AM radio back in LA. If you know anything about living in California, hell, we just started only 20 years ago. Black music is being played on the FM. So with that said, to get back to the story, I had them make a comment on my music, which seemed like they was kind of, I wouldn't say hating, but they was kind of making it seem like it was funny or something, which wasn't no big deal. I laughed with them. I actually made a comment about, go ahead and, give me a negative or something. I was just being funny. Well, the very next time I got on there live to their show, I made a comment. It was like, dang, man. So-and-so, the creator of the show, I said him specifically on the comments, yo, man, you guys are starting to blow up. There's more and more people in here, man. This is the bop. Well, the co-host took offense to that. He went so far as to say, oh, man, that was a slap in the face comment right there. You low-key hating. What? What are you talking about? It's one thing I don't do is mince words. I don't mince words. Let me say that again. I don't mince words. If I wanted to say something was whack or say you was whack, I would say that. The only reason why I got a little heated right now thinking about it is the fact that dude will read into it that way. So obviously you just deal with negative stuff all the time because that's the first thing you went to as opposed to going, okay, I hear you, dog, and letting it lie like that. It wasn't nothing negative. I was just like, dang, I was thinking in my head when I first started watching dudes content, it was only a few people on the live at a time. And I was like, dang, this is a cool show. He got a lot of equipment and the way he's shooting it. And I'm like, damn, he should have way more people. That's how I used to think. Hell, I would talk to him back then. Hey, what's up, man? And he would be like, hey, Korner Store, da 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 da. And acknowledge that I'm on the live. But as time started to progress, he started to have more people and more people and more people. He doing his thing out that way. And that's basically what I should have said. But nobody gonna tell me how to fucking talk. Nobody gonna tell me how to comment. If you can screw it that way and make it think like I was trying to say something negative, nigga, that's on you. Yeah, I got heated. I got hot because I don't like nobody putting words in my mouth and saying I'm saying something wrong or saying something bad about you when I'm trying to compliment you. I don't care how underhanded you think. What does that even make sense? Who makes underhanded comments when you could just say the shit whack? That don't make no sense. You're not doing nothing for me. You ain't making no money for me. You're not helping me do shit. I'm helping you by being on there. I'm making your numbers look good in the algorithm. So, because I've turned over a new leaf since 2010, and I've been doing nothing but praising the Almighty and giving Him all to do. Anything negative like that, I have to cut that off. They've been blocked. Sorry, I know you don't care. I'm just one person. I know you'd be like, so we glad you're gone. Great. But I had to do that because it was sticking in my craw, and someone would think I would make a positive comment like, wow, man, Lord, so and so is damn, he doing the thing now. And he gonna say, well, we've been doing our thing. Nah, you wasn't at first. Because you was building something. Sorry. From what I see, it's gotten progressively better. That's all I was saying. But as you can see, that's how people do things. That's how they take things. People will always look at the negative. I'm kind of like that too. I told my lady that. I was like, I look at things negatively before I look at them positively. I treat people like that. When I first meet you, I'm already assuming you an asshole. When you pleasantly surprise me by showing me that you're a good person, then I just be like, damn, thank you, God. I met a genuine person today. Thank you for letting that person bump into me. Because I'm always looking. People are normally pieces of shit. And that goes to show you that you can't give nobody a compliment either these days. Dude is obviously younger than me. I'm 58. I didn't make it this far in life, living where I've lived, been homeless, I done did it all, man. I done G-banged, all that. I done made it this far through my wits and through the grace of God. So for me to make any underhanded comments without actually saying what I fucking mean is stupid. Period. So if this happened to get to you or whatever, there's no love loss. Ain't nobody tripping. I was that night, which was just dumb on my part. But the fact of the matter remains, I was trying to give y'all a compliment and tell y'all, I see you. I see the progression. Keep grinding, keep banging. Y'all finna do what you do. That's what that was all about. Take it at however you want to take it. I had to get that off my chest because I've been thinking. I haven't talked about none of that on my platform. I kind of said that to him. I went back in the day and got real young on dude. I was like, we can meet and talk about it face to face or whatever. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? I noticed he's saying certain things on there that let me know where he's supposedly supposed to be. And what, like, what? Okay, nigga, you must think I'm a sucker or something. Nah. That's a mistake thinking that. But anyway, I digress. Sometimes people can't take you and take you out your character and make you do things that you're trying to not only not do anymore, they can bring you back to who you was. And that ain't necessarily a good thing. Sometimes who you was is the motherfucker that need to be back there in the past. But because you're trying to be nice and say something you think is worthwhile, but they sure in the hell don't think so. Somebody tell you that's a backhanded compliment. A backhanded compliment. And by those terms, he means I walked up to him, slapped him in his face and said, you know what? That's a nice shirt. Make it make sense. Backwards compliment. Okay. It is what it is. In other news, this is a world news. A ceasefire has been put out in both of the wars. Now, the war in Ukraine is still going on, but they don't talk about that anymore. You don't hear about it on the news. But there's a ceasefire that's been put out in Israel against Hezbollah and all those neighboring countries. And this new guy who's made the presidency, who's going to be in office now, has already decided he's going to take credit for it without even being in office yet. Well, you knew that was coming. The economy still sucks. Palisades in Malibu, Altadena, Pasadena, and several other areas are burned to the ground, and people are homeless who had several hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in these properties and now have nothing. Not all of those people who lost houses over in those fire areas are stars and have investments to where they can move somewhere else or move into a condo that they already have. A lot of those people worked their whole lives in whatever they was doing in order to have that place. And they had all their money sunk into it. And now they have nothing. Do you think the government's going to save them? Well, there was a decree put out, and I'm getting back to the war, don't worry. There was a decree put out by President Biden that all of those insurance companies who decided to cut off the coverages of these people fire damage on their homes, that will be rescinded, meaning these people will get paid. How long do you think it's going to take for them to actually get money to be able to take care of themselves? Don't trip. I'll sit here. I'll wait. Nobody said anything on the live in a little bit. So let me know what you think. Do you think these people's homes will be covered? Or do you think there are a bunch of people going to end up on the street, people that you used? I know for a fact that somebody who's worked on some of those houses over there, don't be surprised if you're driving through to work on somebody's house and you see that man that you worked on his house sitting outside in the rain because he don't have nowhere to go. We so busy fighting foreign wars and putting money in the coffers of other countries that control some kind of natural resource in the area, like oil, cobalt. For those who don't know, recently it was just told to us, or at least told to me, through various news affiliates, that they're growing heroin, basically heroin. You know what poppy is? That's the ingredients for making heroin. They're growing it by the fucking ton in Afghanistan. Nobody talks about Afghanistan anymore. The farmers over there used to grow everything from potatoes to onions, and they had grape vineyards, believe it or not. Grape vineyards in Afghanistan. They've stopped producing all of that to grow poppy. You ask yourself why? Well, the gentleman said on the news, well, not on the news, but on the social media interview that he was on, that the government wants to make countries like Russia and other countries that are against American interests, they want to make sure that heroin goes to those countries. Doesn't that sound familiar? Sounds real familiar to me. It sounds like the drug epidemic in the 1990s when crack and crack cocaine flooded our streets, trying to wipe out black people. In turn, what did black people do? We did exactly what we always going to do. We turned it around. Yes, we did lose a lot of people. A lot of black families lost relatives, lost aunties, brothers, cousins, nieces, nephews to the crack epidemic. We also created a bunch of monsters and crack dealers and crack manufacturers that became powerful, influential people that ended up rubbing elbows with stars and politicians of their like. Now we got an opioid crisis that is absolutely destroying the white community. They don't even have children anymore. That's why they've been decreeing that white people or white families, white couples, married couples, hell, they even said if you ain't married, we need to have more babies because there's a shortage of Caucasian people in the United States. You could go look this up. This is not something I'm just spewing. This is a fact. They absolutely hate the fact that these commercials out here contain interracial relationships. If you look today, when you watch the playoffs today, which I know everybody will be watching the NFL playoffs, subsequently the Baltimore Ravens playing the Buffalo Bills in a couple of hours here. And then after that, the Philadelphia Eagles will play the LA Rams. During those games, you will be seeing a lot of commercials in between those games promoting all different types of products, from detergent to tires, everything you could think of. Insurance, which is an ironic thing. How you going to have an insurance commercial during this crisis where the insurance companies don't even want to pay for these people's houses being burned down? They're going to be showing interracial relationships, which, like I said, I don't give a shit about any of it. You love who you want to love. But this country, which runs media, yes, I said it, the government runs the media. They'll say one thing, but they'll be doing another thing. It's called sleight of hand. Make it make sense. If they keep your ass confused, if they keep your ass guessing about what's really going on in the world, guess what you're going to do? You're going to be guessing all the fucking time. You're going to be guessing. You ain't going to know your ass from your elbow. This is a crazy time we're living in, folks. Crazy time we're living in. We got rappers that will, in 6-7 months, will say you shouldn't do one thing, and next thing you know, he's doing another thing. You know why? He's trying to line his pockets. They're making green. They're making the color green of the money that they print. They're making that the most important goddamn thing to everybody. And if you don't have it, they'll say that you're nothing. If you're a bum and you're sitting in front of 7-Eleven and you're laying in front of the door, people will walk over you, open that door and go into 7-Eleven, get what they need, come right back out and walk over you and go to their car. That's the world we living in. Just realize that. Realize where we living. Realize where we're living. Realize where you living. Yo, I love everybody. Always will, always have been. I may be mad at you most of the time. A lot of people are doing bullshit. But most of the time, I'm wishing the best for everybody. Believe it. I most certainly am. Korner Store Podcast will be on again real soon. We got guests coming up in the next week or two. Yes, sir. We got guests coming up. I see you out there on the chat. We got guests coming up, and we also appreciate you being here, taking the time to be here on your Sunday morning. You could be doing anything, but you decided to come here and chill with me and listen to what I had to say. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. This your boy OMD Dex 300, Old Man Dex, Doc Savage, Man of Bronze, episode 136, Korner Store Podcast. I love y'all. Give me an adios on the chat. Remember to like, subscribe, and check out all the Korner Store content. Check out my stories. I got some real great hip hop on my stories. Stuff from the past that you haven't heard in a long time. I appreciate y'all. We'll see you again. Episode 137 coming up soon. Peace. Mario.